How we doing, YouTubers? Dre Crawford here, Everyone Drones. We're out on one of my sites. This is a build out here in Beaumont, California. You can recognize the markings on the building. You pretty much know exactly what's going on here. So it'll be no surprise. What I have today, besides my normal drone equipment out here, is I purchased some, I guess they call them live streaming cameras by Logictech. It's the Mevo cameras. And it allows you to be able to stream wherever you go. So you can have it in your home, in your office, or you can take out in the field because it all works wirelessly. There's no wires going on. It can work off your hotspot, off your phone. You can use it as a hotspot, whatever the case may be, and it allows you to go live, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and a few other Vimeo and a few other sites out there. So I'm just giving it a shot today. I'll be in and out of the picture. I have my wireless mic hooked up to me, which is by Mevo wireless mic setup. So those are two things I'm using today for the live streaming part. For those who may be in the chat, I don't have no access to the chat at this time. I have to log in on my phone and log into this live stream just like you are to see what's going on in the chat. So forgive me if I don't answer back right away, and I'm trying to get everything set up. So just bear with me. Enjoy the scenery, which is not a whole lot out here. As we're approaching our summer part of the year here in Southern California, if you notice in the background, we've seen my videos from this area before, pictures. In the wintertime, the sky is crystal clear. But we approach the summer, we get that summer haze. So what I used to be able to see is very clear mountains behind me, and to the north of me, I get more of a hazy look. So that's the difference in our summertime. That's why I say for us here in Southern California especially, wintertime is almost the best time of year for us to fly for those very cinematic and very nice pictures, because we get everything is crystal clear in the sky. But when the summertime comes around, it gets a little hazy. And that's why you can use ND filters, especially the polarized ones, to cut through the haze a little bit and still get nice shots. Now I'm out here today. I don't know where you may be at, but it's basically 5:40. Yeah, call it 5:40 here. And the reason why I'm out here this early in the morning, because it's supposed to get up above 100 degrees today. When I pulled up here, it was already 67 degrees at 5:15 this morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing launched, get it up in the air as fast as possible so we can avoid the heat issues that plague the drone industry. Like I said, you'll hear the equipment behind me. The guy's over here in a backhoe just off to my right shoulder. So as always, hang on, enjoy the ride. Please subscribe, drop some comments, let me know how this worked. If it didn't work out, give me something to work on, okay? I'm trying to get better. I can bring things better to you. All right, so hang on. Today we're going to be using drone deploy for our photogrammetry work. That is primarily what I do, is photogrammetry collection work in corporations and companies. You guys are on the and like I said, the old trusty Phantom here picks it up within about a minute. I'm at about 13, 14 satellites in a heartbeat, and I get as high as above 20, depends on the location. Ready to go. We're going to go ahead and hit our flight checklist. Those who have not used drone deploy before, it goes to a pre-flight checklist, asks for permissions, asks about camera adjustment, focus, all the different things, and that's even before you get a chance to hit the start button. And we're off here. Now the the mission will load into the drone itself, and we'll be taking off shortly. Now, I did forget something this morning. I did forgot my landing pad, but you gotta be resourceful sometimes and use what you have out here. And I found this, it's a knee board, is when here's a knee board. So, I saw a stack of those, so I decided to pick them up, pick one up, use it as my landing pad for the day. So here we are, 'cause I had to park up here in the dirt part. Usually, normally I'm over here in, but not with all of my gear. I was gonna be able to park there and walk over here and fly, but that does not seem to be the case today. And like I said before, the reason why I wanted to be over here is simply because of the building itself. When it was just a dirt ground, no problem, no obstructions, but the building itself is an obstruction. So that's why I have to be careful about keeping my distance away from the building. And that's why I tell people when they go out to job sites, do not get up on top of the building because you're blocking your own signal. So you got to be careful of these things. I'm gonna pause for a minute here as I got one of the lifts coming by. Another thing you want to be conscious about is your surroundings. Got some cones up here in my area. The little pop-up cones I picked up off Amazon. But off my area, so I can keep me out of their area. So same thing here. You stay out of my area, I stay out of your area. It's all about being professionally courteous when you're on the job site, because you always got to remember you are on someone's job site. You're not the contractor, you're not the primary contractor, you're not the developer. You are a guest on somebody else's site. So you always want to make sure you are courteous to those that you are around, extend the problem. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go ahead and log in myself and see what we got going on here. I got Paul Murray popping up on my phone, but I need to see what I'm doing. So let me go here, drop that, and see what I got. What's going on my channel? Okay, so I got 6 people watching. Oh, I got chat, so I can say hello to a few folks. Max Air 420, SSH Drones, Have Drum Real Fly, Spring, the Fiber Enthusiast, Spring. I am out here in Beaumont, California today, in case you didn't catch. She knows what that's at, since she said her husband was once in San Bernardino, or grew up in San Bernardino, California. Henrik, Have Drum Will Fly. Who else we got here? A few folks. Well, welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. And just hang on here. This is all about a test. I'm equipment as a test while I'm out in the field. Can someone tell me if they can hear me okay? There is going to be a slight delay because of the amount of data that gets transferred through the cameras and then broadcast out to YouTube. So we have it on what we call normal latency, which is usually about anywhere between a 2 to 5 second delay. If you use these in your home and you get a strong Wi-Fi signal in your house, like I do, push to 1080p resolution and have it on very low latency, which means it's only about maybe half a second delay. So that's not too bad. As we're at right now, we just finished our first run at 300 feet. And it's going back for its second run. There'll be a total of about 16 runs forth. So that's why I tell people, mapping is like watching paint dry, as the old saying is. It's not exciting. It's just a matter of monitoring the equipment, because the drone itself is flying autonomously. As you see, my hands are not on the controllers, but I have to watch what's going on, because if I need to take control of the drone for whatever reason, I need to make sure I know what's going on and be able to take the appropriate safety precautions to recover the drone, save it from crashing, whatever I need to do. So you just can't just sit there and say, oh, the drone's flying by itself and I'm moving on. I said, no, you have to continue monitoring the drone, and you got two sets of pictures here. You have the main grid picture that you're looking at, and you actually have the camera view picture. So you can have either one blown up at its own time itself. Well, good morning, Mr. Fannerman. Glad you could pop in. Appreciate that. I'm gonna get quiet here in a few minutes as we got another heavy lift coming by. I have to extend the courtesy. These gentlemen extend the courtesy to me. I'm on the job as a subcontractor just like they are. We're all out doing our jobs. And I keep my area coned off so I don't interfere with what they're doing. Now the location of this job that I'm actually at right now is the where the building is going to be built. You see the first one over my shoulder? That is the first building. It's about, I would say, close to a 500,000 square foot building, and they're building a second one is where I'm parked at right now. All cameras, these Mevo cameras, they have little red lights in the front of them, so I can tell which camera is on at any given time. So I know the one I'm looking at now, the light's on, so I'm facing this camera. Now I just switched over to the one that's a little farther away, so I'm looking that way. Now I do have another iPad in the back of my car. If someone was monitoring that, I could have them switch the cameras manually. What I have it set in now is called Auto Director, and I set the pattern of how long each shot will take, which I think right now I have it at about 8-9 seconds or whatever, and it transitions back and forth. You can even pick your transitions to hard cuts, or like I have, you see it as a slow moving transition back and forth between the cameras. The one thing I like about these cameras so far, which I'll be testing today, is that they have approximately about a 5.5 hour battery life. So you can be out quite a bit and record. And also they have a slot in the back of the camera for an SD card. So you don't have to go live with these cameras. You can actually be out and just record what you want, take it back home, edit it, whatever you want to do, and go from there. But I got it for the reason of being able to live stream while I'm out in the field. So I think that's a big plus, especially doing drone work, that I can live stream, and like I say, if I want to show some corporate board members or developers or whatever the case may be, what's going on, I can stream it to them live. I can go on their website, I can go on their YouTube channel, whatever, and I'll be able to go ahead and stream live. They give me the permission to better my service delivery, as I say. As anybody's trying to work in a company, start up your own company or business, I don't care if you're doing tiddlywinks or drones, better delivery model. At least have the capabilities to do it. This stuff, equipment right here, I know churches use this type of equipment. People use it to do weddings, which I was at a wedding yesterday, and any type of live. A lot of small athletic teams use this to live stream or even videotape their practices. Because this setup I bought here comes with, I only brought 2 cameras out today, but the initial set 3 cameras, and you can even add even more cameras. So it has the potential of being a very good system for you to be live streaming. Like I said again, it's wireless, so I don't have any. One, like I said, the one in front of me right now is sitting on the hood of my car. The other one's on a tripod over in the corner, facing towards me. So there's no wires at all. These cameras are all attached to this phone right here, wirelessly, as far as the internet signal, because I have it unlimited on my phone. And then there's, like I said, the iPad in the back of my car, which shows all the camera angles. If I want to add some, I guess you call it graphics, or text messages, stuff like that, as far as my name at the bottom of it, top of it, I can even do that during the live stream, or have it constantly there all the time. So this is a product that I'm going to dig into in the next couple of months, and see what happens. Okay, right now we're at about 64% battery life, and I can feel the heat coming in already. And it's only, I got here time, 6:47 a.m. 6:47, I can feel that heat. So that tells me, just growing up out here in California, that's probably somewhere around the mid-70s already. And I've only been up flying for about, let me see, I took off here about 5:45. So like I said, I only been up flying, okay, not 5:45, it was 140. I'm off by an hour. My apologies. I'm off by an hour. But yeah, so I've only been up flying roughly about 10 minutes at this point. And that's why I tell people about being careful about what the ambient temperature is when you fly. Yesterday it was 100 degrees out here when we left a wedding, the reception party, it was still 100 degrees at I think 6 o'clock p.m. last night, it was still 100 degrees. That's not good. That means the peak of the day was over 100. You're flying your drones, and that's why I tell people that the battery compartments, especially DJI drones, are pretty much, they're not, I always use the word, they're contained in a closed area. And that's what you worry about. So when that drone is functioning, all the electronic parts inside that drone are heating up. The battery area has no vents. Now the new Mavic, new Mavic has vents on their batteries, which is excellent design by DJI. And that makes me want to go out and buy that later on this year once they go through a couple of firmware updates and get that handled, because that tells me that people have been talking about the heat on the batteries. And these batteries do heat up fast. I think I saw a video from Steel City Drones saying that they did a temperature test and they said their batteries never got above 100 degrees at a full flight of about 30 minutes, which is outstanding. Because I think I showed you guys in one of my videos a little while back to where the temperature went from a starting takeoff point of around 78 degrees and came back at about 120 plus. So that's something you got to worry about all the time, the temperature that your battery reaches. And like I said, I think a critical area when you get up above 135 and 40 is when things can get critical with your battery temperatures. Let me see who else has came in here. LJ Live, Johnny Mac 26, have drone, will fly. Adrian. All right, Adrian, I will be on the Adrian Mateo Live tonight with my buddy Adrian. We're gonna be having some special guests come in this evening, so I encourage everyone to tune in. We're trying to give a platform to those who are not using in the drone community and try to give them an opportunity to spread their message. We even have, hopefully she'll chime in, an educator who is code, dealing with the telos, and she's teaching fourth graders how to code. So I think that's very interesting because, especially here in the States, we're big consumers of things, but we need to get back to actually building and developing things. Like I said, we're big consumers, but we need to teach our young kids, especially now, about development of things, be able to code things like we did 2 generations ago. Okay, I know the drone is close. I can hear it. Yep. Battery levels at 51%. There is no to speak of. It might be, I would say, at the top level, maybe about less than 5 miles per hour, which I know the Phantom 4 flies like a dream when there's no wind, which all drones fly like a dream when there's no wind. So that's no big deal, but it's like this thing maximizes its aerodynamics and the least amount of wind it has to fight through. And I'm talking about I get more battery life out of my flight because I bring mine back at about 30%. Because I'm not trying to stretch them all the way down to a critical point. So I was saying again, please chime in today. As I say, this evening, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast of the Adrian Mateo Show. I also want to give a shout out to those guys in New York. You can see Phantom 101, Herman, and Lawrence Novice Quads. They're on Sunday evenings. This afternoon for me. It's 2 o'clock Pacific Coast time. I think it's 5 p.m. on the East Coast on Sundays. If you're up a little early on Sunday, you can check out something international at Drone Seekers over there for the international folks who might be on here. I know it's getting hot because the flies are starting to jump out now. Nothing worse than having flies when you're out in the heat. I'm trying to think of other shows. Also, Johnny Drone Flyer, and also Captain Ray Kelly. Even check out Mikey, okay, over at Philly and stuff. He's been putting out some really nice stuff. I love his new intro, and I found out that that one of the people in our drone community did that intro I'm talking. That's something really fancy. Yeah. I like that intro you got there, Mikey. So if you guys see Mikey, let him know. I am intrigued. I am interested. A lot of these are drones you can tune into every night. All to south, around the world, there's a drone show. All those flying better at drones. All of us is put out, but we maximize what we have. That's my philosophy. Do you maximize the ability of that drone that I have and get people about the latest the think about a couple and drone right here, learning how to use it and everything like I'm so that's not my but I expect this capability where was to go. And even add a trip mode. So he's coming out brand new camera and get port. I think the better things are out there today is the is kind of hit and miss on some drones. It does great. I know around the tip of my tongue his name floater also. Excellent. I don't know his great. Last night I was on the fly zone with those. I'm listening. I listen as much as I do stuff, and I also listen to things. Broaden your options out. Don't stuck your. Hey, we're finished on our about 6 run. Of us, I'm at 2%. Finishes this line right here, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it home because I for it to travel down another 300 feet is gonna bring my battery down to an area I don't want to be at. So I'll let it do its turn. I will hit the return to home. And another reason I do this, you try to maximize your battery and your flights as best you can. You also want to manage it the best. What I'm doing right now is that by bringing it home right now, when I change out, the drone doesn't have to fly as far to get to its next starting point. So that means I get a little more battery life, I get more distance out of that battery, and so forth. So a lot of times you got to manage your flights so they will be where the drone needs to be at. So when the next battery goes, it doesn't waste 10% battery life. Okay. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear this. So Phantoms, they're always fairly close. I'm pretty sure. Bingo. You can't argue with that any day of the week. As you notice, on my drones, I always have flashes on mine. This is one of the Firehouse technologies. I have ones that flash white. This one flashes the red and blue. I switch it up every once in a while. Always want to tug back on that battery. Make sure it's in there secure. Even when that battery's starting up, you want to take a look at it. Make sure you're good to go. Guess I didn't press it hard enough. Huh, interesting. We don't want to use that battery. Even though I checked my batteries the night before, you never know what's going to happen when you're out there. What I was about to say is, even when booting up, I look at the camera. Because sometimes, especially the Phantoms, the camera can limp, even during startup, and then you take off and you got, so like even when you're starting up, you want to make sure. And when you're using Drone Deploy or any other software, like I said, it takes about a minute for the GPS satellites to acquire. So there's no real hurry to run back and want to tell this thing to take off. Let it do what it's supposed to do. Let it acquire the necessary satellites that it needs. That way, you know you're going to have, most likely, have a successful flight. And that's what the most important thing is to have successful flights. Either you're as a hobbyist or as a commercial Part 107 flyer, you always want to have a successful flight. So we'll go ahead and check software, see where we're at. We're going to continue this flight. We got 13 satellites already. We're going to send the mission to the drone itself. It is loading the mission. It is ready to take off. As it ascends into the air, we went from 13 satellites to 14 satellites. All right, folks. Filipina, British Eye Story came in. Thank you, young lady. And Dewey is in the house. Thank you for joining us. I was, and she was just telling me about how she does her live streaming, how she got to where she's at. And I told her about some of the gear I had. So I'm here, like I say, as she suggested, doing some live show, you know. So like I say, when I come in, like I tell folks, I come in to listen, I come in to learn. I do not believe just because I have a Part 107 certificate that I know it all, you know. Telling me about YouTube and learning how to use YouTube more, that's what's key. Anyone who has watched my videos can tell you that most of my videos are more like a tutorial. So I'm here to try to pass on what little bit of knowledge that I have on those who want to learn and stuff. I have no problem sharing any information that I have to anyone else. So like I said, I feel we can only make ourselves a better community as drone pilots and even as YouTubers by sharing information. A lot of folks feel like, well, hey, I got my subscribers. I'm not going to tell nobody else what I did. You know, it's a big secret. I said, you know, if that's your attitude, that's your attitude, you know. But you know, like I say, you know, like I say about karma, it will come around and bite you one day or another. Okay, we got Chris, Sunrise Water Media in the house. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Okay, he said hi. Another Chris. Is Chris Hope in here? What's up, Chris? Okay, maybe it's another Chris I'm missing. Okay, no, I don't see Chris Hope in here. All right. So if anybody has an mission thing, I use it alone most of the time. So other than I'm talking to myself or basically talking in my head to myself, this takes quite a bit of effort for me to sit here and talk continuously about something that, like watching paint dry. And that's what doing photogrammetry work is. It's like watching paint dry. There's nothing fancy about it at all. Okay, there we go. We're now has 17 satellites. Okay, let me get out here. Okay, so how do you switch? Okay, Chris, this has it in the software of this Mevo app that you put on your phone or tablet. It allows you to do the switching automatically. You can set to time, or you can do it manually yourself. It also allows you to do different type of switching for us. You can do hard cuts, or you can do smoother transitions. So it's all built into the software of these Logictech Mevo Camera system. By knowing you as a person like you that doesn't media and music work, I think this is something that'd be very much interesting to you. Now, the biggest drawback everybody's gonna say, well, it's 1080p. I say, you know what, 1080p ain't bad. And I always tell people that. I say, because most of the people that are viewing your material is viewing it on a phone, okay? So 1080p, perfect platform for you to live stream material like what we're doing right now. 4K would eat up a lot more bandwidth, and it also takes a lot more to transfer through. Okay, so like I say, it doesn't. 4K is always everything else, but 1080. And right now, because of YouTube limitations on live streams, I believe it is, I'm only transmitting this at 480. Not so much of the ability of your equipment, but it's also the what the service allows. So that's another big thing. That's when some people talk about why some folks have better camera appearances when they do their live stream and everything. Your equipment can do so much. Your internet, excuse me, your internet is probably the biggest factor. More than anything else, you can have one of those Sony A7 cameras and a Canon Mark IV 50 streaming camera. If you got low internet, it's not gonna make a difference. One of the things I invest in my home is one because I have so many wireless devices in my house that I have 2 gig up, gig down. Wirelessly, I'm usually getting anywhere between above 300 megabits per second and down on my wireless. I think it's hardwired system at my house. All has a port switch, and it's 1,000 gigahertz, whatever. Just do so, home theater in my home. My house, my wife, phone, tablets, kids, PlayStation, security camera. I had 30-something wire hooked home. Consider man in your house. Take my phone through the disc, the educational disc. Was I used to have a limited plan because I use my phone for anything else in normal days, but not a reason to have it unlimited. I went and got it so I can stream, do video, Facebook, and so forth. The system here will allow you to stream also, and earlier Venmo, Lincoln, a couple of Twitch. Sure, if you want to try to go to TikTok or media platforms. I'm still digging into it. I buy for my desktop, but I guess there's a couple of different I call NDI. So I'm to it. I just really like the way these cameras. So they have a 6-hour battery life on the full, and that's they easy to load after. I don't be live streaming more than 5 hours. What we got here? JSK in the house. Welcome, partner. Thank you for coming in. Anybody else I miss? Okay. I think I called out Johnny Mac 26. Yep. Once again, tonight, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. for our live show there. Like I said, we got some special guests coming in, hopefully, and about some other things that are going to some. So I the live show pride, but you come and get. If anybody else has any questions, please ask. Chris Wedgeworth, how are you doing, partner? California. Appreciate you. Anybody just popped in? I'm out on a site doing a photogrammetry collection today, and I'm live streaming with some camera gear I picked up in the last week, and I'm out here giving a live test and see how it works. So that's what we got going on today. Like I said, the actual drone work is like watching paint dry. So it's no big deal when you do mapping work. It's not exciting. It's not about the cinematic shots or anything like that. It's all about just getting the pictures done. Usually per battery, I'm taking somewhere close to 300 shots per battery. We're on our second battery right now. And we're at 205 shots at this point. 55% battery left. So these jobs, large work jobs like this, you can give, and that's why I have a large car, because I never want to have the issue of running out of room. Shots. We're not talking about 10, 15 shots and you're down the road. This is quite a bit. The shots I'm taking here will be processed and put into a 2D orthomosaic picture for the developers and investors. So that's what the whole now on. I will probably use my Mavic 2 to do orbit around this facility. And the orbit is designed to cover both buildings down orbit. The flight usually takes about close for this facility. Fly so slow, I think I only fly at about maybe 7 to 8 miles per hour, and it covers the entire site. 160 around the entire site. Be what we call angles, building, getting we call in between, so it's at least 16 to 20 pictures I'll be taking out here. It usually takes me about do the All right, DeMarco, good morning, brother. How are you today? Baseball this morning? Glad to see you come in. Also, him, DeMarco, and are there together on Monday nights. The early, I think it's Monday or Johnny Jones. Johnny goes off of the bat, so he had to be on the go live and be gone. So also let me mention Rodney usually do print out there and stuff. So yeah, his video one of the drone there, Rod here. Yeah, he's back on. Yeah, he was off for thing, but back in people as possible as we can. All Matt Eves, real Matt to break down the initials or something too long. Straight over here, instead of flying at the far end over there, I lose about that. It's once again about managing, especially when you're doing, this is be able to manage the flights as they go. Mr. Bob Casey, welcome, brother. If any of you have the chance to talk to Bob Casey over the phone, person, that is a good man. Has a heart of gold, good man, loves his family, loves the drone community and stuff. Bob Casey. All right. Okay, we're at 323, 324 shots. We're back this last run. We're at 32% back. And now, as soon as it hits the end of this run, I will hit the return to home button and bring it back. This will probably come back and land and probably be right about 25%. Okay, it's making its turn. I am now hitting the return to home button at 30% on the nose. So about from over here, 5%. And I have about 4 runs. So if I dip out of the picture frame, don't panic. Hopefully. I'm just here switching out my gear and everything. The main reason for this live stream is for testing out these cameras that I got this week and see how they work out for me. So far, so good. Room. Okay, if I say I'm cutting out, that probably means because my internet connection off the phone here is being inconsistent. That's what'll happen, is that you may get cutouts if you're in an area, because like I say, your phone is not consistent. Your phone may range between maybe a high of 5 megabits per second to down to maybe less than 1, and that's why you'll get cutouts. Okay, so no, Bob, it's not you and everything. It's probably on my end more than anything else. So that's why I'm out here testing this. As far as the range, it also talks about, you know, how far can you have the cameras away from the source of the signal. So that's also a good thing here to be able to find that out. I know I have one camera that sits on the hood of my car, about roughly 10 feet away. The other camera over in the angle here That's about maybe 20, 25 feet away from me. So we'll just see how it works out and stuff. But right now I got the drone coming down, so I'm gonna let it get out its way and let it do what it's supposed to do. Let's do that. I gotta tell you guys, those phantoms hit the spot. Can't complain. Return to home accuracy. And this is a piece of kneeling board for concrete workers. And it's about 18 inches, maybe 20 inches at the widest. And back here at the end, it's only about 15 inches. And now I'll tell you guys about checking the battery. I've had to buy some third-party batteries. Not real happy about that, but you just cannot find OEM batteries for these Obsidians anymore, you know. And that's why I always worry about when I buy a third-party battery. Power-wise, they do okay. I worry about the fit, what my concern is about these batteries. And that's why I always say pull back with your fingernails to make sure those clips are in place. Because you do not want to have a battery pull back out in flight, because guess what? We all know it's going to come straight down and crash. So that's just one of the things you have to look at and check. And even though you have checked, because I've had one fall out of the sky on me before. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're into our third. This will be second flight with the Maverick 2 Pro. Get that outfitted. Yep, Bob, constant picture taking. That's all this is. Constant picture taking. Yep. And like I say, it is battery intensive because in most offices you're not flying that fast. Progress report of the job site. If I was actually doing a roof on this, I would only be flying no more than about 75 feet above that roof behind. And that would be more of an inspection level, which I'll be taking probably in excess of about 1,000 pictures. And I'll probably be flying no more than about anywhere between 5 to 7 miles per hour, where the drone may even actually stop and take each picture and move to the next waypoint picture. So you guys leave some comments in the chat. I'm trying to read them. Let me know how the stream is going. Good morning, Jim's droning. I think Jim is from the UK. I think you guys have known that I have DNA roots in my in my family from the UK, Scotland per se. So I have researched that and did the crazy thing of now I carry the official title of Lord Crawford of Glencoe in Scotland. Oh, Jim's in Canada. Sorry, Jim. I thought you were in the UK and stuff. So, you know, if we meet in person, I should say if I go to Scotland and meet some of the guys over there, and like Miss Filipina, she'll have to call me Lord Crawford or just call me my Lord. I appreciate that. So yeah, I have. Like I said, the wife is a lady, and I am a lord. You say, Chris, the audio gets worse when the drone goes up. So these are comments I want to hear. Let me know the quality. Like I said, what's happening is the tablet, it's on the controller here. It's also on this Wi-Fi device, because for me to use drone deploy, I have to be on a wired internet connection. I have to actually log into their servers for the information that I'm using to be uploaded to them, plus my air data account. I need to have Wi-Fi connected, so when I get done flying this, I upload all the data to air data through internet. So this is why I'm asking these questions. The drone is on its way back right now. Told you it wouldn't take long. And let's see what's going on. Well, thank you. So we know it must be Chris's stuff. I guess Chris needs to feed the 2 monkeys and the squirrel that runs his computer and see what's going on. Now this is the odd part. Now see, it's returning to home because the mission's over with. I didn't hit the return to home. When drone deploy brings it home, because at the end of that mission flight, it's not as accurate. And I don't get that. If I hit return to home on my controller, you guys have all watched this, it's hit right on the mark. Now here it is again. I'm gonna let this thing land. We'll see where it hits. And you'll notice that it's off angle, and it's nowhere near that wood piece of where I'm looking right now. And this is drone deploy bringing the drone back. So now it's about 3.5 feet off. I don't get that. You know, same drone. You guys that have been here the whole time notice that that it hit this piece of pallet. And don't like the way that felt. I mean, that thing just almost just fell right in my hand when I pushed the lever. Not a comfortable feeling. I'm gonna be off camera for a little bit here, prepping my next drone. So go use the bathroom, whatever you're gonna need to do, and I shall be back. We're gonna get this set up here. Alrighty. Okay, we're checking our props right now. Go ahead and kick on my smart controller. And we're going to be using the Maverick 2 Pro for this part. And all of my controllers, tablets, phones, whatever, are automatically from there. Exceeded something on YouTube. Who knows? Okay, let me go back here. Start it. I'm going to chat. Okay, are we back now? I think my phone was buffering for some reason. Anybody confirm in the chat that we're back? Okay. Yeah, my phone was buffering for some reason itself because I was getting a little wheel of death on my phone. And I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but I just launched the Mavic 2 Pro to do the orbit, and I'm using the Litchi app for that purpose. Litchi allows me to set the waypoints, and it just gives a nice smooth orbit that I don't have to fly manually. So I can do stuff like this. Okay. Well, I was saying, I don't know if you guys caught the part about another reason why you want to have an internet connection to your controllers and everything. If you use the Litchi app and you have several flights on there, you need to have internet connection because all your flights are actually not on the controller. It is in the cloud server on Litchi. So if you had just did a flight home on virtual Litchi desktop app or whatever, it will not upload your controller unless you have internet service. So that's something you have to take into account. I'm sure you guys can hear the gargle voice from the Litchi. I always have mine set to speak, and it gives me the battery level and the altitude at any given time. I think to me that's the two most critical things I'm concerned with, because if it's something's going wrong, I'm having altitude's going to drop or the battery percentage is going to drop. So it lets me know right away. I have an aircraft flying over at about, I would say roughly 800-900 feet. This came over the top of the site. Small Cessna type aircraft. All those good little things you always keep an eye out for while you're out flying. Helicopters are probably about the worst because they come out of nowhere, and a lot of times they're flying below 400 feet. Yep. Yep. So you never used Litchi before, Jim? Like I said, to each his own. I know some folks, and I was that way at first, really getting into hands-on. But I did that because I wanted to be a really good flyer. I wanted to, like, I need to be a very proficient flyer more. Okay. Like I say, sometimes you got to monitor this stuff no matter what. It's telling me it's moving, but I don't see it. I don't see it. That's why I say monitor your lights. And find out what happened. About 3 waypoints and stopped. Just hovered. Showing that the drone is moving. So you always got to make sure everything's doing. Now it's showing me the drone is moving. That's why I say, always, even though you might use autonomous software, you got to monitor your stuff. And I'm one of them people, you got to be more safe than you don't want to be sorry. Yes, Jim. That's all I fly, DJI drones. I think Litchi works the best. Any other drone, it is so, the gimbal movements are so smooth. Once you learn how to manipulate that, the Mavic 2 Pro does a good job. But I think the best drone that works with Litchi is the Phantom 4. It is just like having a movie camera up there. I mean, everything just moves so silky smooth. You use software with that drone. So quite evidently, reset here, and go from there. And these are the things that happen when you're on a job. Could be different because I'm looking at my screen and it says the drone wasn't moving. This accurate. I love that when the thing lands where it's supposed to land. Found compass error. So guess what? We're going to get out of the Litchi app. We're going to go back into the Go4 app, and we're going to do our little compass dance. That's what I'm saying. You never know what may be happening or does happen when you're on a flight. And that's why I say I loaded up the DJI app. At first, it did not show me I had a compass issue, or maybe I overlooked it. Yep, right here it told me compass calibration needed. So guess what? We're gonna do the compass dance. Oh yeah. Cha, cha, cha. And compass is all good and completed. So there you go. Compass calibration might have been the issue for why there. Now we go back and bring up the Litchi app. Something simple as that. Something that can be easily missed or occurs during your flight. And it says all of a sudden now, it says you need compass calibration. And that's why I say you always got to pay warning for a reason. And that reason you need to pay attention to compromise your flight.